Good evening to all the participants on this call. Before we proceed to the call, let me remind you that the discussion may contain forward-looking statements that may involve known or unknown risks, uncertainties, and other factors. It must be viewed in conjunction with our business risks that could cause future result performance or achievements to differ significantly from what it is expressed or implied by such forward-looking statements. Please note that we have mailed the results and the same are available on the company's website. If you have not received the same, you can write to us and we'll be happy to send the same over to you. To ask questions, please select the raise hand option. We will call out your name and then request you to unmute yourself and ask the question. Please note that the questions on the dashboard chat box will not be monitored on an active basis. To take us through the results and answer your questions today, we have the top management of Jash Engineering Limited, represented by Mr. Pratik Patel, Chairman and Managing Director, and Mr. Dharmendra Jain, Chief Financial Officer. We'll start the call with a brief overview of the quarter gone past and the conduct Q&A session. With that said, I will now hand over the call to Mr. Pratik Patel. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Pratik Patel and I'm pleased to present to you the results for the year, financial year 21-22. We have already loaded this investor presentation onto the stock exchange and most of the beginning company overview and product overview is something which most of the existing investors must have already seen. So I will not go in detail over that. If anyone has any questions to ask me later concerning that, I will answer on those. I would like to go directly to the financial results. Before financial result, just like to go back and just explain to you that in the financial year 22, the product mix has been something like this. 50% of our business has come from water control gates. 25% of our business has come from screening equipment, 14% has come from valves, and 11% balance has come from various products like hydropower and pumping, process equipment and others. Now, I would like to clarify here that every year these percentages may vary little bit depending upon some product being more successful in some markets or some product being required more in certain projects and so on. So this is just to show that we are not based on a single product but multiple products contribute to our turnover. Next. At the same time, I would like to say that today close to 50% of our revenue is coming from markets outside India. And this shows that we are now spreading globally and are on a firmer footing compared to where we started many years back when we were mostly dependent on Indian market. Coming to the financial performance, this slide shows the standalone performance of all the principal subsidiary companies as well as the main company, which is Jash Engineering. We have achieved a significant increase in our revenue in all the three companies. However, when we talk about EBITDA, we have had some problem this year because of huge rise in raw material prices, which has taken place over the last 7, 8, 9 months. And this has resulted into our cost of production going up because the orders were already taken before. The good part is that in case of Rodney in America, we have finally broken even and have made minor profits this year, and Rodney Hunt is finally, I can say, no more a big concern for us. It has come out of red, and now we expect it to contribute in future to our growth as well as to our profitability. Next. On the consolidated basis, you can see that our revenues have grown significantly. However, the gross profit as well as the gross profit margin has reduced, and the reason for reduction of that is only the increase in the raw material prices. And same EBITDA margin has reduced because of the same reason. When I had last year presentation, I had informed that we expect profit same as last year or maybe 1 or 2 crore less due to rising cost of raw materials. However, the profit after tax we are able to maintain a little bit more than last financial year, and that's because of the deferred tax liability which we had, which has helped us in showing a little bit improvement in the profitability. Next. In the quarter 4, our total income has been close to 160 crores as against 129 crores last year. And this last quarter is contributing close to 40% of our financial year turnover, 35 or 40% of the financial year turnover. And the big hit we took in the last quarter was again, as I said, because of the raw materials pricing. On the annualized basis, our PAT margins have come down from 10.1% to 8.6%. At the beginning of the year, I was quite confident that we will be able to improve from 10.1 to 12. However, there has been a sharp rise in raw materials, and this has taken 4 to 5% overall cost increase on our total revenue. And this, as a result of that only, this PAT margins have come down. However, in FY22, our earning per share has minorly improved compared to last year. And one of the reasons for that is Rodney coming back into profitability. Next. So our consolidated order book position as on 1st May is at an all-time high, 516 crore, in which business out of India is 371 crore and within India is 145 crore. All the subsidiary companies are having good order book position, with Rodney Hunt having exceptional good order book position of close to 194 crores. Our order pipeline also is good. We already have negotiated orders close to 30 crores in this in the month of May, which we are expecting to receive soon. And we have good order pipeline as well, because projects more than 72 crores are under negotiation as of now concurrently, and we expect to have maintained the strong order book position in future also based on the increasing demand for our products worldwide. For the year, for the current year, 22-23, we are expecting consolidated revenue in excess of 430 crores, of which from Jash USA we expect around 165 crores in revenue. I am glad to inform you about other developments which has taken place. As I already informed, Rodney has turned the corner and is profitable, and we expect this situation to improve year after year. The revenue of Rodney is growing by leaps and bounds. Last year we had a growth of around 27%, and as a result of that, we are now within first 4 companies in US in the water control gauge business. To improve our output at Rodney, and we also invested on a laser cutting machine, and this was commissioned in this month. And this will significantly lower down our cost and improve our output and as well as revenue and sales in this year because of higher output. The pending order as of end May in Rodney is now in excess of $28.4 million. This has to be seen in the context that we are targeting revenue of only $23 to $24 million for current financial year. So we already have orders in excess of what we are targeting for the year. Rodney, as I said, has become profitable, but Rodney has 2 aspects of it. One is goods manufactured in India and then sold in America, with some minor contribution coming from America. Others are goods manufactured in our orange manufacturing facility. And and we expect that the orange manufacturing facility will become profitable this year, with sales revenue in excess of $11 million. But he has written $8 million, which is a mistake. It should be $11 million. We expect this year to cross $11 million in revenue in America, operating manufacturing revenue. One of the good news I would like to share is that we had a lot of land in Rodney and we had signed an agreement to sell this land. However, we were not progressing on that. But now we have received a proposal to create 66 homes, each of 10,000 square feet land area. And on this, 31 would be with riverfront access and 35 are at the back without riverfront access. Our whole plant is parallel to the river. And this gives a very good opportunity to build homes which are having a very good view as well as very good environment. We expect this land to be cleared by the town of Orange for building homes, and once they do it, it would help us in significantly raising revenues in excess of $4 to $5 million by sale of land, and this will enable Rodney Hunt to pay back the liabilities of Jash Engineering, upgrade the facilities in Orange, as well as establish a new plant in Houston. Even after this excess land is sold, Rodney Hunt will still be left with the 60,000 square feet built-up area plant and about 10 acres of excess land also. This land also is riverfront access, but this we will like to retain for future. Another good news on Rodney is we have been able to get banking facilities of $1.5 million, on account of which now we can give financial bonds on smaller orders, which unfortunately we were losing earlier. We would also like to improve our banking facilities in America to enable us to provide bonds for large size orders. The company is now profitable and we are taking it up with the insurance company to give some bonding limits to us. Coming to Shivpath, we have been allotted 2 acres of land at Sipcote, Vallam Industrial Park in Chennai. With this land in Chennai, we should be able to invest on a new manufacturing facility, which can help us to take process equipment business from from 30-35 crore presently to more than 50 crores in years to come. I'm pleased to inform you that in April 2022, we inaugurated our new cast and gate manufacturing facility for export. And with this development, today our reliability or dependency on domestic business for export production is just limited now to sourcing of casting. This is a very good development because this isolates the export business from the domestic business and vice versa. We also signed in April a new agreement with Invent for aeration and mixing products, the commercial production of which will start after training in 23-24. For 2022-23, we are also taking up production of a new manufacturing facility, which we call new stainless steel product plant at our unit 2, where we have spare land available.
This 8 crore से वो 8 crore यहाँ था वो 11 में
Okay.
by mistake.
In the Indian market, I am glad to inform you that after many years, with very positive development taking place with Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune, as well as Hyderabad going ahead with big projects, and all these projects are cumulatively worth over 20,000 crore. In fact, the latest information is MCGM has started issuing letter of intent to the contractors. Now, when there are projects worth 20,000 crores which are under execution in the coming 4 years, 5 years, it means that our domestic business is expected to grow by leap and bounds, because in these major metro cities, Jash has a very high market share of more than 60-70%. In the end, I would like to say that our record pending order position of 516 crore would lead us to another significant year with high growth. And we are presently targeting revenues in excess of 430 crore for year 22-23. And if everything goes well, we can look for higher turnover than this as well. Finally, we had pledged our shares with SBI for a loan taken for expansion of the company. This loan had been paid back, but our pledged shares were not being returned. SBI has finally agreed to return, so now the promoters have no pledged share anywhere. So, our healthy order book has resulted into growth of around 23.6% and a minor growth in PAT of around 4.3%. This minor growth in PAT is not corresponding to the consolidated revenue growth of 23.6%. And the reason for that is the raw material cost, the bottom material cost, as well as the freight cost, which has impacted our profit margin a lot. We could not do much because these orders were taken before the sudden price rise took place. However, in the current year, we are quite optimistic of improving this profitability in rupee value also and margin wise also, because many of the orders now under execution are taken at higher prices. We still have some orders of lower raw material price which we had taken in early 2021, but the proportion of that order is now going down, and so we expect significant improvement in our profits in this current year. Our products demand is quite healthy. In fact, we are negotiating some orders which, if comes through, would lead to 150 crore worth of order booking within next 2 months. And so I can say that we have a strong demand for our products within India as well as outside India, and that would help us to grow at the same pace for coming few years. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We will now begin with the question and answer session. To ask question, I will request participants to select the raise hand option. The first question is from Naveen JR. Please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Last year, margins were impacted due to raw material inflation and higher shipping costs. So, what is the outlook for the current financial year? And you also spoke about some legacy orders which were taken at a lower cost. How much approximately in the current order book will they form?
Thank you, Naveen. These legacy orders are now less than 20% of our total order book position. Now, these orders should have gone in execution, but because of COVID, many projects are delayed, so these orders also got delayed. And now that prices have gone up, we are negotiating with the clients to increase the prices, but this is a little difficult task. So I will say that out of the 516 crore order book position which we have today, around 20% of the projects are orders which we have taken when the costs were lower. Regarding the improvement, it all depends upon the mix. If we have this 20% done within this year, along with some orders of new costing, I would say between 10 to 12% PAT is what we will be expecting this year. Please keep in mind that Rodney Errands with revenue of $23 to $24 million should also contribute to PAT of at least $1.2 million. So, combined consolidated PAT we expect to be between 10 to 12% in this current financial year.
So my second question is, in your presentation you spoke about Indian market, which is the prospects are improving, and you stated a 20 crore potential. Out of that, how much is the addressable for Jash as a company?
It is 20,000 crore. In fact, Bombay Municipal Corporation alone is 26,000 crore. Pune is 1,500 crore. Everything put together is more than 30,000 crore. Now the figures are in public domain, that's why I can say it with confidence. As far as our products are concerned, I would say 4 years should give us consistently 50 to 60 crore additional business every year.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Starting from 23 end.
Okay.
Because these projects are just being awarded, so by the time they come to manufacturing at our end, it will be 23 end.
Got it. Thank you, sir. I'll get back in the queue.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Naveen. The next question is from Zakin Asif. Please go ahead.
Pratik bhai and team Jash, namaskar. And congratulations on a fabulous set of numbers in difficult times, sir. Pratik bhai, how is the situation internationally with the war and our supplies in Singapore, your shipping difficulties, raw material prices? Do you see all these things being ironed out, sir?
I don't think that shipping is going to be ironed out soon. Shipping is still a problem. The freight costs are phenomenally high. Raw material also continues to be high, but it is improving now. future I cannot say raw material, but as of today the raw material prices have started going down in India. But I don't know whether it will go back to the earlier levels. I doubt whether it will ever happen again. So shipping would remain a problem until at least I would say 2 quarters. Raw material prices are high, but are not that high that we will suffer because we have taken it at higher levels only already. Market environment, I was in America for a month. There is no fear of war except for shortages and things like that. In Singapore, I was in Singapore as well as Philippines. Every market has started coming out of COVID and everyone has started growing again. So I think the big problem of COVID is behind us. The only problem could be this war, which is so uncertain and no one can say anything about it today.
So would it be prudent to say that we at Jash have learned to live with these uncertainties and would things would back to normal on the growth trajectory, sir?
Jagdish, we never had doubt about growth trajectory. The war as well as COVID as well as the shortages as well as the price rises affected our profitability. It has never affected our growth. The growth is still more than 23% in this year. And with our current order book position, we can also again achieve growth in excess of 20%. We are being little bit conservative because we do not know what will happen, and so we would like to show 430 crore, whereas the current order book position itself is 516 crore.
And sir, would you please throw some light on the disc filters which you have introduced? How is the trajectory on that product going?
So the first 2 disc filters which we have manufactured have been dispatched, and now we have ordered for 1 more disc filter. We are going slow because we would like to totally indigenize this product before pushing it aggressively in the Indian market, because when we import certain components and sell, it impacts our profitability.
But the demand in the Indian market, sir, do you see it being acceptable?
Yeah, demand is still high. It is being met by imported machines or people who have come before us and have got their machine specified. So demand is not a problem.
Thank you, sir, and best wishes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zaki. The next question is from Deep Shahu. Please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pratik Bhai. Congratulations on a fantastic set of numbers. Pratik Bhai, the 2 questions. One is that, in US, our order book has moved from $5 million to $30 million in last 2-3 years. And the question that I had is, qualitatively, what is the shape of the funnel, the orders that we are contending now? Has there been any shift in terms of the size, the technical complexity, the kind of customers we engage with in the US in the last 3 years? 3 years back, we were a small entity. We were not having enough financials. Our balance sheet was poor in US. So that is one question. What is the qualitative shift in our engagement with the market, both in terms of order size, complexity, as well as the competition that we engage with now? That is number 1 question.
Can I answer one by one? Can I answer this question first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I would say that we have published or already given this data about the type of orders which we have received in America. We presently have a $5.5 million single order from Kansas City. We have orders of 2.1 million, 2.3 million, 3 million, etc. from other places. And so our order profile is increasing from few $100,000 to millions of dollars. So there has been a big improvement in that, and this improvement was achieved without our being able to bond. There was a project called Bird Island project in Hawaii, where we had got an order of more than $1.6 million, which is still stuck. This order is stuck because we are not able to yet open the bond. So during this visit, I had gone there, talked to everyone. We are trying to open the bond, but if I have a $1.5 million limit from the bank, and if I order for single company $1.6 million bond, then I have nothing left for future. So bonding is still a problem, but if I get bonding facility, our balance sheet, you have said, has improved, but on 1 year performance, no bank or no insurance company is going to open their doors to me. So it would be little bit tougher still, but overall I would say qualitatively, quantitatively, as well as technical integrity wise, there has been an enhancement on the flow of orders.
Okay. Yeah. And that's true for Southeast Asia also, the Singapore, Hong Kong, and Thailand, Malaysia parts also.
See, Thailand, I think, is a dead business as of now because of problems there. Similarly, Malaysia is also in a very bad position. COVID has affected many countries very badly. However, we are doing very strongly in Singapore. Mr. Gernot Mar of Mar Machine and Bow is presently in Singapore for last 7-8 days. And we are trying to get few $1 million order for screens in Singapore. In Hong Kong, we are again very strong, and we are having negotiations in Hong Kong for few $1 million worth of order, which would be finalized within June-July period. So certain countries business is still strong. Certain countries it is still dead, or it is growing very slowly. Overall, I would say because we are in many hemispheres or many countries, it's not going to affect us a lot if some countries are not doing good.
Okay. Pratik, my second question is more of in the context of the global competition. I was listening to the Concall of another niche engineering company, the Anup Engineering in Ahmedabad. And they commented that globally, the ability to design and engineer complex engineering products, which needs a lot of casting, forging, etc., is diminishing in the Western world, particularly in the US and Europe. And a lot of and they virtually don't have the capacity to build customized, complex, engineering products. So a lot of those are going to eventually, which was moving to China, is going to eventually move to India. So do you see that trend? Do you see within your competition the ability to design a very complex valve or gate or complex engineering projects? Is that diminishing? That's question number one. Two is, how is our engineering team are you trying to look at building a very comprehensive engineering team out of Indore as a competitive advantage and invest into that?
Your question number one regarding what's happening abroad, are they that the skill set is diminishing, etc. Let me say that the skill set is not diminishing. What is diminishing is the capability. Capability is diminishing because of availability of people. A few years back, 3.5 years back, we lost a $27 million job in Singapore. That is the Tuas Deep Tunnel project. We lost that job to a German company called Moore, M-U-H-R, Moore. I was in Singapore last month. Moore is unable to execute that job. The contractor who placed the order on Moore called me for a meeting, and tomorrow we have another follow-up Zoom meeting with the contractor, wherein the contractor has already conveyed to us that he is proposing our name to PUB for executing the balance job. When I am saying executing the balance job itself will be more than 100 crores. So what I learned was that the Germans quoted very competitively, and when the price rise went up, they were in a mess. During the COVID, many people left the company and don't want to join back the company. So this I have seen in many places, not only in Germany but in America, etc., where people are no more willing to work 6 to 9 or 9 to 6 or something like this. And this has become a challenge in many countries abroad. Fortunately not so in India, but the complexities is not deterring them for doing this. It is the lack of manpower in these countries which is deterring them to and asking them to go to India or somewhere else to get their jobs completed.
Yeah, yes. So the question was, Pratik bhai, so how do we treat our design engineering team in terms of expansion, putting more, because this is going to become the most competitive advantage.
Yeah, so really I would like to draw back your attention to 2 years back. We had faced this big problem when we acquired Rodney Hunt, that we all of a sudden started getting these jobs from America, and we were not in a position to cater to these jobs with the current team, resulting into delay in making submittal drawings, delay in making manufacturing drawings and so forth. And then we started investing in auto generation software. And I'm glad to say that we are at a very advanced stage with that, with more than 35% of our products now being generated automatically. You can gauge the improvement from the fact that what we used to do in 40-45 hours, we now do in 4 to 5 hours. And that has been made possible because of our investment on people as well as on technology, on software. And in our line of business, none of my competitors globally has been successful in doing this. Rodney Hunt, when I acquired, I knew they were working on it for 2 years and they were not successful.
Yeah.
So technical superiority by using software and automation is the only way forward, and we are quite advanced on that now.
Yeah. So thank you, Pratik bhai, and all the best for future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dilip. A gentle reminder to all the participants, to ask the question, please select raise hand option. The next question is a follow-up question from Mr. Naveen. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Sir, you spoke about the excess land which is available at Orange and plans to develop that. So what will be our role? Are we planning to dispose the land, or who's going to develop this piece of land?
So the options available to us would be, one is outright we can give to the developer. So generally in America, you get 20% of the cost of the house as the cost of the land. So the cost of house in those areas is between $350,000 to $450,000 along with land. So we can expect 20% of that. So the best and the fastest way to raise money would be to give away all the land. However, when you do that, there is a chance that you may not be able to get more revenue. So other alternative is 50% of the land you give to the developer as sell it off, and 50% of the land you tell the developer that he builds the house on it, and when he sells, 20% of the value at which he has sold, he gives to us. So this is a model which is still not frozen. On 6th of June, there is a meeting with the town committee, and we are waiting to see the results, and then we will be deciding how to go forward.
Okay, sir.
However,
Sir,
we expect from minimum 4 to maximum $5.5 million from this.
got it. Sir, my second question is, you spoke about lack of bonding facility is sort of impacting growth at Rodney Hunt. If we didn't have that constraint, what kind of growth can we see in Rodney Hunt? And how many years would it take for us to sort of avail this kind of bonding facility?
I think in 1 to 2 years time, 2 years of continuous profitability, people would be more amenable to give us bonding facility, higher bonding facility, I would say. The current $1.5 million is backed by SBLC from India. So I cannot go on doing everything by backing with an SBLC. In future, we should approach American insurance companies and based on our profitability, get bonding facility from them. Once we get bonding facility, we can expect our turnover to grow by at least 20-30% annually. In addition to what we are growing today.
Got it. My other question is the Invent AG tie-up which we have, the agitators and mixers, what would be the addressable market size in India? And is the tie-up only for the Indian market, or are we also looking at the export?
We have already started producing those items, components for export back to Germany. So that project has already started. So 20-30% of the component required for that product, we are now producing in India and selling back to Invent in Germany. As far as addressable market is concerned, I would say eventually this should be a market of at least 100 crores annually, which is being presently made by companies like Sulzer or GE or Xylem, and mostly is made by imports.
This would be in the process side, similar to a Shivpad line of business.
No, this is this would be in the process side, but not at Shivpad. This would be manufactured in Indore.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's all from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naveen. The next question is from Rajat Sethia. Please. Yeah, Rajat, please go ahead.
No voice.
Rajat, please go ahead. Can you ask? A gentle reminder to all the participants to ask questions, please use the raise hand option.
No. Can you hear me when no?
The next question is from Dilip Shahu. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Pratik, just a bit of information. This AGM, you are planning to have a physical AGM, or is it going to be a web?
All our meetings are physical as well as virtual.
Okay. So this time the AGM is going to be in Indore, right? At a physical.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
So the status of Singapore current order is we have already started manufacturing and we have to deliver this year at least 15 to 20 crore out of the 65-70 crore orders which we have. And new orders which we have got, we are at the submittal stage. And if it comes through, the approval comes through, then also in the new orders we have to deliver another 15 to 20 crores this year. So of the total 75 to 100 crore worth of orders which we have in Singapore, I think this year will deliver anywhere between 15 crore to 30 crores.
What is the revenue we can do?
With the current employee base, well, this is a little dicey question. With the investment of laser cutting machine at Orange, we will have to increase few people because the output now, just to give an example, the water jet cutting would do the same job in 9 hours. The laser cutting machine is doing it in 22 minutes. And this I saw personally when I was in Orange last week. So when the cutting is so high, then you will need new welders so that we can weld in time and the output can go up. So today we are around 40 to 43 people. From 40 to 43 people, we will go to 50 people this year. Adding people in marketing also, because we have to now start invest in marketing for future growth. So ultimately we will be adding 6 to 7 people, and the growth in turnover would be also around $6 to $7 million in this current year. The employee cost is around presently around 20% in America, right? Employee cost in America is around 20%. Around 20% now, and as the turnover grows up, the employee costs should start coming down.
Next question is from Jay Mehta. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. First of all, congratulations on excellent set of numbers, sir. So my question is on the operating cash flows, sir. From year on year, if I compare, it has come down significantly. If you can explain.
I will ask Dharmen because he is a better financial guy than me to answer such questions. Let Dharmen answer.
Yes.
Yeah, this year basically the reason for down in cash flow because some receivables which we expect in the March itself is slightly different come to April. So one of the reasons that, and secondly, our major sales are going to be towards March only. So this is the because of that we have not get the fund of that receivable in same financial year. So it's mainly two reasons we are getting some negative figure in the cash flow of the consolidated. Otherwise, it will be not a problem at all.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Mehta, for last 3 years, we have not increased our working capital limits.
Yeah.
Right? And in spite of the expansions we have done and in spite of the funding of Rodney Hunt we have done. So, eventually it's because our cash flow is improving year after year. And another reason has been that with a higher profitability, we have been able to manage with the existing working capital limit. Though this year the profitability as a percentage has gone down, and that also reflects into little bit increased cash flow.
Yeah. Third reason is that because of increase.
So my second question would be on the raw material side. If you can explain how much is the increase in raw material prices since last year, and how much are we able to exactly pass it on to our customers?
Pass it on, I would say very less percentage. In fact, because of pass it on, we could not execute around 20-30 crore worth of orders, which we have partially manufactured and are not shipping because we are negotiating for months with the clients. The
highest increase in the raw material price is around 55%, and it's current come down to up to, but still it is 40% higher than lowest level of last year.
Yeah, and on the revenue basis, I would say 5% increase.
If we see that last year's consumption ratio, it will increase around 7 to 8% in the last year.
Okay. So 7 to 8%
increase is available, but in consolidated basis, if we go, it will be 4 to 5%.
4 to 5%.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir. That helps a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from Sanjay Shah. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, gentlemen, and congrats to the team in these challenging times. Pratik sir, I would like to know, we are out in a very good spot. We are passing through a journey of Rodney Hunt from a rough to a very stable terrain, sort of. So are we looking to venture into new geographies, new verticals, to take forward this growth ahead after this 1-2 years journey?
No, we are still stabilizing. So I would say Rodney Hunt of 2 years and 3 years of continuous growth and profitability will give me the confidence to move forward. Okay. However, I always say if opportunity comes, I will not be lacking. So I would be conservative as far as looking to new opportunities is concerned. But I would like to stabilize Rodney Hunt first before looking at any diversified market as well as new opportunities.
So you are citing 20% growth current year. Don't you think it is bit conservative looking at the rising cost and volume-wise, order book size? Will it be possible to grow better than what you estimate right now?
Sanjay, if you know me well, you know I always try to be a little bit conservative so that I don't have to apologize later. But at the same time, we have to understand that around us there is chaos. There is a lot of uncertainty which is going on. So I will rather say 17 to 20% growth than say 30% growth. Let me achieve 17% and more, and then you will be happy. If I say 25% and do not achieve, then you will be unhappy.
Thanks, sir. I understood, and wish you good luck to you, sir, team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. There is one question on a chat box from Raju Venkatesh. Can you comment on the promoter holding reducing?
Excuse me, can you repeat again?
Can you comment on promoter reducing? Promoter holding.
Promoter holding.
Yeah.
Holding. So promoter holding, if you go to the presentation, it is close to 53-54%. Promoter holding is close to 53-54%, in which even 5-6% held by Mr. Amin family is also there. We have already separated and they are still invested in the company and they are still being called as promoter of the company. This does not include Mr. Axel Schutte, who is deeply involved in the company. Axel was with me in Houston when I was in America to review the operations. And Axel Schutte still has 6% of the equity of the company. However, we are not 6 to 7%, I believe, but we are not classifying him as a promoter, though he has been with the company for more than 30 years, for a single reason that he had expressed his wish to one day exit the company. So along with Axel Schutte, friends and relatives and my family, I think 62 to 63% is within us.
53 is promoter.
53 is promoter, 7% is Axel, 60 and 2-3% is friends and relatives.
There is a follow-up question from Rajas Setia. In the legacy order, which form 20% of order book, what are the chances that we will get price hikes? And what kind of margin or losses do we expect to make if we don't get price hike?
So, price hike, I would say, on any given order, not this 20% order, to get a price hike is very difficult, it is very controversial. I would say only around 10% of our orders, total orders, 10% we are able to get some price hike because the client is at fault. Where the client is not at fault, he has given us an advance and the project is stuck, his appeal is that he is equally suffering. So why do you want to make me suffer more by increasing the prices? So I would say it is little bit tricky. We can get sometimes, we will not get it always. One. What was the second point?
What kind of margin or losses do we expect?
There is no losses, only the reduction in the margin around 4 to 5%.
So yeah, but it could be sometimes no profit, no loss also. But deep losses are there, then we will stop the production and definitely renegotiate.
Thank you. That was the last question. Axel sir would like to say something.
Mic is off.
Sir, you need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to participate also on this meeting with the shareholders. And I have to report my big pleasure to be with Pratik together in April, May in America, to see the progress which had made now there. And it is my real big hope, and I guess also the security that what has been installed now there is bringing this company to a very nice progress in the upcoming years. And we can expect also continuous profits. And these are the major and best positive news we can take for the company. We see that the company is very well placed in the industry and the customers. We are fully booked out. We can receive or can expect also for the future good and strong orders. And even in America, when the bonding problem is also get released, we are also there on the safe side to get also bigger orders. And the range of competition which we are facing now, I think we are much better in position than in the next coming years. From that point of view, the situation at Jash is looking very, very good. And this is, of course, thanks to the management, thanks to the people working along and under Pratik and together with Pratik. We have a very good team in place. And what makes me very happy is also that we have a generation now working at Jash, which is, which we can expect that they stay a couple of years longer than me. And I'm with the company since 30 years, yes, and I never ever have had any problems with this company, and my pleasure was to accompany it and to help as much as possible to get new products online and to consult whenever I was asked to do that to the company, to the management. So for the next coming year, it looks very positive. All the shareholders, I think, can follow it also, and seeing that the share value is also increasing, which is our big pleasure as well as shareholders. And I keep my fingers crossed as everybody of you stays healthy and motivated for the next coming year. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in India as well as the next Zoom meeting for the next upcoming board meeting then. So thank you very much once again. My big pleasure. And to everybody, have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I would like Pratik sir to give any closing comments.
So at the end, I would like to say that for years I have been hearing some of the investors really worried about Rodney Hunt. And not only some of the investor, Axel Schuster was also very worried about what we had. And I think we have now overcome that. We today have a very strong team in America. The team initially in America was very raw, very young, because we cannot afford. But now we have a lot of experienced people who have joined the team. People with 15, 20, 25 years of experience are now on board in America. And I can only say that until we do something foolish, we are now looking at very exciting growth and exciting improvement in profitability. Sometimes you plan a very good profitability and strategy, but factors beyond your control, in this case it was the COVID related price rise, shipping and other things, has put our strategy in the dustbin. But I'm sure that if such chaos does not take place, then as per the current strategy which we have, I am looking forward to make this a very strong and very profitable company in years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any additional questions, you can reach out to us anytime. We wish you a good health and look forward to seeing you again in next quarter. Have a good day. Thank you.